tell you in just a minute. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Oh, what a day it's already been. This is Katie, and you are here for my magic coffee chats. So grab your brew, whether that is coffee, tea, or something else that you like to put in your mug, and let's chat. You guys ready? So today is one of those days that it is just not going like I had planned for it to go. Do you all have any of those ideas? Do you ever have that happen where you're like, this day is not going how I thought it was going to go, but it's going way better than I even imagined it could? Do you guys ever have those days? And so this morning, I woke up and I decided I was going to sleep in. And I have been traveling a lot. I took my 3 boys to St. Louis to see my sister. And I took them solo. And sometimes, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but sometimes my kids don't act as good for me as they do for anyone else, like their dad. And so when I take my 3 boys, they are at the ages where they like to pick on each other. Do you all know what I'm talking about? And my middle one, he loves to stir the pot with everything. And so then they get out of routines, and my kiddos are huge routine kids. They're like their mama. And then we have something going on called a crazy new moon with Mercury in retrograde and all sorts of planetary cosmic stuff that my kids are super in tune to, and you are too. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. And most of your kids probably are too. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I was traveling and I drove back yesterday and I got home and my phone was exploding because of all the magical things that were happening in my business. And so I had people over last night. We had a gathering. We did fun things at our kitchen table, like make diffuser bracelets and talk about oils and talk about our intuition and so many other good things. And, so we did all these things, right? And I went to bed and I had this plan for today that I was going to take it easy and I was going to sleep in. And I knew that there was a big cosmic shift coming today. And so I was like, I'm going to turn inward. It's the new moon, which is what we're going to talk about in just a minute. And I had this whole thing planned for what I was going to talk to you all about today. And it's changed a little bit, but we're just going to go with the flow. So welcome to Coffee Chats. Another thing, and I'm just going with it because I believe that everything is connected and everything happens for a reason, is I went to put this coffee chat on, and usually I stream this live to my my business page, and it wanted to stream live to my personal page today. So if some of you are joining me and you're like, what is this crazy lady doing talking on, what's Katie doing? Every week, I have started doing something called Magic Coffee Chats with Katie, and it's 10 a.m. every Wednesday morning, give or take. Sometimes I'm a little later because, just life gets in my way. But this is my weekly chat, and I started this about a month ago, or no, it's been about 8 weeks ago, and it was kind of this inspiration, this idea, this download I had. I call it the GOD download, and it was to just get on with a cup of coffee and chat and bring you into my home. And I know that this is eventually going to a podcast. Actually, I have about 9 episodes that are ready to go. I just have to make the call to the right person to help me with all that stuff, because there's no way I'm going to try to figure out technical mumbo jumbo to get a podcast online for y'all. But this is where I hang out. And so if you're joining me on Instagram, hello, Instagram, I love you all, is the reason I'm not looking at you is I try to broadcast live to a couple of different areas, and I'm broadcasting, I pay attention to my computer so that when you're watching YouTube and you're watching a recording later on, you can see me, and because I might do fun things with my hands. So welcome to Coffee Chats. So this is where we're just going to hang out and we talk about whatever is on my mind. If you've never joined me for anything before, my name is Katie Glasgow, and I love everything that combines together to give us what I call the magical life. I'm here to help you create a life that is not dull, that you are living in 5D, that you have vibrancy, that you're not just going through the motions in life every day. And I help you in all different sorts of ways. I like to focus on our physical, our emotional, our spiritual health, because I don't believe you can have one without the other. I feel like they are a cycle that flows together, and they have to flow together. And so I talk about things like the cosmos and the moon energy and crystals and a whole lot of oils and just whatever I feel, because that's been my journey. About 9 years ago, I started on this journey. And I really didn't know what was going on in my life, right? I was, I went to college, I got my degree, did my thing. And, I thought I had this magical life. And then I started using these crazy things called essential oils. And I don't talk about this a lot, but as I was getting ready for this podcast, I thought, this is what I'm going to talk about today. As I started using these things called essential oils, they're beautiful. They're amazing. We're getting to that good stuff in just a minute. And my body started to shift and my body started to change. And I started to, what I call wake up. It's like you're in a slumber and you don't even realize you're in a slumber. And then you start to wake up and your mission and your purpose starts to be defined. And so this crazy day that I had started where I was just going to talk about moon energy, which I still am because I love the moon. And Mama Moon is my, love her right here, is that I woke up, and one of the biggest reasons that today's shifted is because I woke up to a phone blowing up with text messages. Okay. So at night when I sleep, I leave my Apple Watch and I leave my phone and I leave everything in my office at night. And I don't take any of that into the bedroom because I don't want the magnetism from the whatever you call it, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want the stuff from the cell phones. Okay. Like crazy day, right? I don't want that actually affecting how I'm sleeping. I don't want any interruptions. My sleep is sacred. It's a sacred ritual for me. And I want to be able to enjoy it. So I had my phone in the other room and I come out and it is just exploding. And I'm like, what is going on? So it was because I have this amazing team that I get to do life with, and I get to coach, and I get to experience joy with them. They were so excited because doTERRA, the company that we primarily work with, gave us this beautiful gift today of a diffuser with 2 essential oils absolutely free. And it was like the energy shifted in the cosmos, and we were given this gift, and there was this excitement and joy coming from people, and they wanted to share it with me. And so I was like, oh my goodness. So my day went a little crazy because then one of the things is that I lead this beautiful team. And so that's what I don't talk about a whole lot. And I don't know why. Sometimes I'm like, why don't I talk about this? So I started using essential oils 9 years ago, and it was for my physical health. It was because I had little boys in my home that I didn't want to give them some crap. And I started to understand that the options that are out there for moms that we know about weren't that safe for my babies, and I didn't feel comfortable giving them those things. And so I learned how to start to empower my family with these things called essential oils. And in the process, my health started to shift. And what happened was the biggest blessing in my life is that at the time, I couldn't afford to put my oils into my home on my own, right? We were living on one income in LA, and my husband had a great job. But if you guys know, like, cost of living in LA is really, really high. And so I didn't want to bring essential oils into my home. Like I wanted these oils and I wanted these crazy bottles of oil in my home, but I couldn't afford it. And so I started sharing essential oils with others, and it opened this door to something I had never even imagined in my entire life. And so I'm going to get these oils paid for has turned into a team of over 11,000 people now, 11,000 people, 11,000 beautiful homes that now understand they have options that are different. And then I have all these amazing leaders that I get to run beside. And so when I say I wake up to an phone exploding, and I think that, some people would look at that as your day is going to get hectic, but I love it because I do this. My oils are paid for now. But I do this to show other people how to find that freedom in their health, in their emotional. And you know what happens when you empower a woman and show her how to earn money on her own and how to be a boss babe and how to create freedom that she never thought was possible? It is like magic. And so when I see those text messages exploding and these people sharing with me, oh my gosh, I helped somebody get oils that was closed off to them 2 years ago, and now they only want them in their home. Or, oh my goodness, I think I'm going to hit a rank this month that maybe I haven't hit for a while, or whatever. It is this ultimate freedom because this journey now, it's not about me getting my oils paid for. It is about me being the vessel of light for so many other people. And that's why my day got crazy. And so when you're on this, a lot of the things I'm sharing, it's because I've used the oils for my physical, emotional, spiritual health, but I've also taught others and coached others and shown them the way to freedom. And it never gets old. And it's what I wake up for every single morning. And I love all the text messages and I love all the things. And so it's so, 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 so beautiful. And so the other cool thing is, you guys, I'm going to share this right now, and you're probably going to think I'm crazy, but I'm all about truth on this thing. And the other great thing of my business is that I can do it from my living room. I can do it from my house. And here's the thing, you guys, I was getting ready and I was so wrapped up in everything that I was like, oh my gosh, I am not going to be able to get ready. And I have this call. And then after this, I have an exclusive oil hangout. And so if you want to take part in that, message me right away. The link is on my website, magicwithkatie.com/events. And you'll find an online webinar that you can join. If you're watching this later on, make sure you just message me, get a hold of me, Katie at magicwithkatie.com, and we'll tap you into all of those series as well, because teaching about essential oils is truly my jam. But here's the thing. Do you guys see this? I basically still have my pajamas on because I was in such a hurry and I was like, I can't stop right now. I need to let all these people know about this amazing deal that we have going on today. And so I'm just going to throw one of these little things over my pajamas, and I do have a bra on. It's a shocker because most of the time I don't when I'm working at home. And I put some makeup on and I'm like going to broadcast out to you because I'm not going to cancel something like this, because I love, love, love doing this. And I love the messages I receive too from all of you listening to this. And maybe I changed your life in one little way. Okay. So we're not going to really talk about that anymore. We're going to get into some moon stuff today. Okay. Grab your brew on this one. I'm going to set mine. Like, my day started before I even had coffee. So my dear mother, she is part of my doTERRA team. And I was so excited about the BOGO that I called her this morning and she was still asleep. She's like, I haven't even had my coffee. And I was like, look, did you see this? Did you see this? Come on, you're not that far off. Let's make some magic shit happen today. She's like, Katie, I need my coffee. I need my coffee. My team probably thinks I'm crazy. And I know I am. So, all right. So here's the deal. There is actually, if you follow me along for too long, there is a cosmic shift happening. There's always things going on in the cosmos. And when I say the cosmos, I mean the moon, the stars, the sun. Maybe there's solar flares going on. Maybe there's planets in retrograde, which simply means they're in a different orbit around the sun, right? They're in a different alignment with Earth. It does not mean they're going backwards. It's a common misconception. Maybe there's moon energy. Maybe there's all these different things. They're always going on. And how I look at it, a lot of people come to me and they love coming to my space because they know that I am Christian and they know I talk about some of this cosmic stuff. And how I look at it is that there's somebody that created all of this, right? And for me, that is a Christian God. For you, you know what? I'm just like, you decide what works for you. But all I ask is that you believe in something that's bigger than you. Okay? Maybe that's Buddha. Maybe that's God. Maybe that's Jesus Christ. Maybe that is, I don't, like, honestly, that's between you and that higher power. But understand there's something bigger than us guiding us. Our human bodies are pretty small in comparison to the vast galaxies, or just even in the world. Think of yourselves as this one person on even this planet alone. And then we know there's all these other planets and there's all these other things. So we're super, super small. There is something bigger than us out there, and it helps us to guide us. And a lot of times, no matter who you pray to, it is like, release your stuff to me. But we as humans, we are stubborn and we like to hold on to all of that stuff. And so I look at the cosmos, and what's happening in the cosmos is just a built-in way, another aid in us to actually release more. Okay. And so today I want to talk a little bit more about the moon, because we have a beautiful, beautiful new moon that's actually happening about right now, pretty soon. And I love moon energy. And the reason I love moon energy so much is that there are studies or science that shows how much the moon actually dictates water, right? Okay, so if you think of the tides, right, at the ocean, there's high tides and low tides, and a lot of it is dictated by the moon, the pull and the magnetism of the moon. The moon has different phases. There's a new moon, which means the moon is completely dark, which is happening tonight. There's a full moon, which means the moon is at full. There's waning, there's waxing, there's in between, right? There's always a sign of the moon. It goes through a cycle, okay? Because I look at everything as secular. Everything goes through a cycle. So if you think of it going through a cycle on a round clock, that is what the moon does. It goes in a cycle, and it comes around and around, okay? And so, but the moon, we know, dictates everything that is made up of water. Well, what is our human body made up of? Over 60% water is our human body. So if you think that our human physical body cannot be affected by the moon, you're wrong, right? Now, you might not have awareness of this. You might not be paying attention, but the reality is, like, think of if you work in an emergency room, like, you just have to ask a nurse what happens on a full moon in the emergency room, right? There's always lots more trauma. There's lots more going on. I work very closely with a birth center in Des Moines, and they have more, they can track what's going on for what happens with, with pregnancy and babies coming and things like that with moon cycles. Okay. So lots of really fun things in the moon. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of this. I'm going to keep it pretty, elementary level here to introduce you to this concept that your body is being affected by the moon, okay? Because you are 60% water, the moon affects everything water, and so you're being affected by the moon. So that's just knowledge. I want you to be aware of that. And so when I said my kids were in St. Louis and they were getting a little cray-cray, it's because there's a really strong, this new moon. It's the second new moon in July. So a lot of times every single month, because it's a 28-day cycle for a moon, the moon you're only going to have one moon, either one full moon or one new moon in every month. And this month we have two. And there's all these planets that have been in retrograde. Mercury's been in retrograde. It's gone out now. And so it's like this lightness has come to us. And so what I want to talk a little bit more about today is what you would do. So we understand we're being pulled by the moon. What does it mean to have a new moon, and what you should do to honor this new moon and work with this instead of against it. And against it would be like you're being stubborn and you don't want to believe this, or maybe just not even having any awareness at all. Okay. And so today is a new moon. And so I want you to think of this. This is the easy way that I remember it, is that the sky is totally dark, right? And so think of our ancestors 100 years ago or 150 years ago, before we had electricity. If it was completely dark at night, like if it was a full moon or if there was moonlight, the animals could see more in the forest. If you were out in a civilization where you had no electricity, the moonlight could still guide you. There was something out there. There was something there to guide you in whatever you were doing. But if there was a new moon and it was completely dark, you would have to retreat and be inside. Okay. And so if you were inside and you were retreating inside, think of, that's what I want you to visualize. That's what you do with a new moon. A new moon is to come inward. Okay. Many times, if you are a woman that is in menstruation, or you're still ovulating and you are still in a reproductive cycle, the new moon is very, very common for women to bleed on a new moon. If you go back, there's a book called The Red Tent. It's one of my favorite books, but they talk in that book about all the women would go into the red tent on the new moon, and they would stay in the tent for 5 to 7 days while they bled, and they would gather because they were inward and they wanted to honor their body, and they wanted to allow their body to process and to shed the what was not there any longer. Okay, so they had ovulated on a full moon. And, and then they were bleeding on a new moon because that egg was not fertilized. And so now their body needed to rid that and shed that. And that's a physical process that needs to be turned inward, that we need to honor. There's probably going to be a lot more fatigue with that. Some women experience cramps, and, it's different for every single woman, but that's where we have to go. We have to turn inward and honor that. And so whether you're cycling with the moon or not, turn inward today. Okay. So allow yourself to rest. And then I get a crazy BOGO from my company. It's okay. I'm going to allow this to flow easily. I'm not going to put effort in, like I'm going to put effort in, but it's not going to be forced effort. So today, think about not forcing effort, but allowing everything to flow in your life. Maybe taking it easier, going to bed a little bit earlier. I love to be out in the moonlight, whether there's moonlight or not tonight. Go outside and allow the magnetism of the moon to recharge and replenish you. Okay. Allow it and ask yourself, take a journal out with you and say, what do I need to know? Because right now you're actually heightened to receive messages in from your source and your intuition. You're going to be able to receive, you're turning inward to find answers. And so ask in a journal, what is my answer? What do I need to know more of right now for my next cycle to begin, right? What do I need to honor? What do I need to bring new beginnings to? New moon, new beginnings. You're not going to do anything with those ideas, but you're going to journal about them. You're going to ask. And sometimes simply just writing at the top, what do I need to know? Maybe you don't know. Don't try to dictate that you know what you need to know, right? Does that make sense? Like, don't go into this seeking answers for something, like being super specific, because that's telling God that you're still in control. That's telling something that you're still in control and you're not willing to release it. So simply just write at the top of your paper, what do I need to know? And allow the words to flow out of you. Super easy. Okay. I'm also going to be using essential oils to help ground me and center me. I'm going to use lavender on the top of my head right here on my third eye, because this is our intuition, and lavender is the oil of communication. So it's going to open me up to actually receive those messages. Another really beautiful one right there would be frankincense and sandalwood. Those are very spiritual oils. And coming through me. Okay, somebody just said they love the eye in the back of my room. Oh, you can see it on Instagram. Oh, my son drew that for me when he was in third grade because he's super intuitive, and he didn't even realize what he was drawing. Well, he did, like on a subconscious level. So side note, I love my eye in the background too, because I love how he pulled that from his subconscious in art, and he was actually drawing the chakra colors in the eye, the third eye. Beautiful. And so, but putting lavender, frankincense, sandalwood, myrrh, because myrrh is a very grounding inward oil. It's nourishing. It's the oil energy of Mother Earth. So anytime, I love to use myrrh when I'm doing those as well. Okay. I also might use a little Palo Santo. This is Palo Santo, and you just light it like this. You're going to let it get a really big flame on it. And that is just going to allow us to kind of clear all the energies that are around us. So clear all the energies around us, just kind of, if you guys take a big breath when you're watching this or where you're listening to this, you're going to feel this as well. So just kind of use Palo Santo to push out any negative energies. You can also use Melaleuca oil for that as well. You would apply it to your chest area. Put it on your solar plexus area, things like that. So just allow yourself, this is a new one, so it's not lighting very well right now. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to nurture, you're going to drink more water, you're going to eat, listen to your intuition with your foods, but it doesn't have to be a lot. Right? 15, 20 minutes, go outside and just spend some time with you and allow yourself to really process what a new moon is doing for you. Okay. Remember, it's inward. It's asking questions. It's not necessarily doing anything with those or taking action. That's going to happen in the next week or so. That's going to happen after, like next Monday, you can start to take action on this stuff. But right now, I want you to turn inward, and I want you to ask, what is the next stage, and what I have to do. Okay, so that's what this new moon energy is. We have a lot of stuff going in. I'm so honored that I got to hang out with you guys today. It's so much fun. I love just hanging out and just chatting about whatever pops in my mind. I am not I'm going to plan my whole speech out, because what happens is then I get on here and I'm like, oh no, that's not what they need to hear. And I connect with all of you. I've thought about maybe making this like where I batch produce like things. And I was talking to one of my friends last week, and she's like, Katie, you connect so well when you have a live audience, whether I know if there's 5 or 6 people out there, but when I'm live, I'm connecting to your energy. And so it's going to be more of this live version of me just hanging out. So thank you so much for honoring this space today and hanging out. So new moon, your action items today are get some essential oils in your home, okay? Because they're going to change your life. And it might not be that you want to create a giant team like I've created. It might not be anything else besides you can use these to tap into that intuition. You can start to live a life of magic. You can start to wake up and see things differently. Whatever that looks like, I'm here to be that vehicle for you. I love doing that. Tap in if you want to know more about the moon. You know, sometimes it's just my fun ramblings. Go enjoy this moon energy tonight. There's this beautiful, beautiful thing happening. Support your body with water, with all the things. If anybody needs anything additional input, if you want, I do free consults. You can go over to the link in my bio, or you can check the show notes on here. You can always schedule a free consult with me, whether that's to help you get oils into your home or ask more questions on energy. Either way, I offer all of those. I also have my free empath guide. And if you are interested in essential oils, please let me hook you up. I love to guide you. We come up with a plan just for you on how to use essential oils in your life. We come up with ideas. It's very specific. It's tailored to you. And it really sometimes is the opening, the beginning, the new beginning. So I loved hanging out with you. Go have fun with this moon energy. I am doing that chat. Okay, so come over and pop over into my oil online chat if you want. I'll put the links in the comments. I'll send that over to everyone. Is Magic with Katie /events. Okay, so hopefully you grabbed some information, just one little tidbit. Make sure you share this with some of your friends. If you're on Instagram and you are, this is going to expire in 24 hours, you can hop over to my website. I have a whole section with coffee chats. You can see the back episodes. That's the best place to use to share these with your friends. If you think one person could add value to their life, please share it. But anyway, go out and have fun. Next week, we'll talk about a different topic. If you have questions, please submit them to me. I would love to chat about whatever you guys want to learn about. So thanks for grabbing your brew and hanging out for a magical coffee chat with me today. I will talk to you all soon, and have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful week, and enjoy this beautiful new moon energy and all the abundance that is always around you each and every day for you to create your life of magic.